So today's video is a long time coming. It's about how I let myself go physically and mentally and whether it's possible to get myself back on track. I know it sounds pretty dramatic, right? But let's take a look. So 5 years ago, I was the fittest and healthiest I've ever been. I mean, like ever. Then fast forward to now, and I'm obese again and completely unfit. We'll get to the reasons why shortly, and along with this, my anxiety and OCD are at an all-time high, and honestly, it just feels like I'm starting right down again from scratch. So guys, if you're in a similar rut, whether it's due to illness, injury, or just life doing what life does best, let's just take a look at it using my own story as an example. Hopefully it'll be relatable for you, and break it down, analyze it, and come up with a plan to get back on track. So this time last year, I was doing great. I was losing fat, gaining muscle, had a diet that worked, was going to the gym, going to circuit training classes every week. This had a really positive knock-on effect with my anxiety and mental health in general, as well as my fitness. All in all, I was feeling good until about April last year when I got hit with a respiratory infection. That lasted about 3 months. And just as I was recovering from it, another respiratory infection came along to just knock me out. So after a second month of infection, I was diagnosed with asthma, which was a huge adjustment in fairness. But at least we got to the core of the issue. So then I was feeling good. I decided to take up rugby, mainly to keep me sane over the dark and dreary winter months, as it was leading up to winter at that time. And it was going great until it backfired in spectacular fashion when I shattered my collarbone, which pretty much means not much of anything for months while I was healing. So I spent my time on the couch, pretty much binging Netflix and snacks, salty and sugary snacks. I really missed the gym. It's not just a great place to go just to exercise and all that kind of stuff, but it's great to see new faces and get out of the house, especially if you're working remotely like I am. And without that, other less healthy alternatives slowly creep in. And I mean, for some of us, that's all we can do when something like this happens or something life-changing happens. And you know, it's not too bad at the start. It's almost novel. I had all these great plans of writing, drawing with my unbroken side, reading books, doing jigsaws, all that kind of stuff. But you also get attention. You have people checking up on you at the start when this happens, making sure you're okay. It's probably the most connection you have with people more than you've ever had in a long time. But after a while, people just kind of, forget, which is fair enough. They have their own lives to live. But that's when you really need people the most, because it's not novel anymore. It's boring and depressing. And then you're trying to relive that. So you just turn to comfort food and comfort TV. And before you know it, you're kind of balls deep in Netflix and sugar. And I mean, it feels good for a while, but you become trapped in this kind of loop which chips away at your mental resilience kind of over a period of while, and your fitness week in, week out, until finally you come to realization that oh shit, this really needs to stop now. So if you're injured, grieving, sick, depressed, stuck, action, no matter how small, needs to be taken right now. No matter how bad things are, and I mean, things might be really, really dire for you, but you have to turn it around, and no, it's never too late. Whatever you've got going on or going through, it's all temporary, not permanent. It will pass. I know whatever is going on with me will definitely pass. So guys, let me know your story. Where are you at right now? And where do you want to go? Have you been here before? If so, we can definitely do it again. Absolutely, and without a doubt. So let's just jump back to about 5 years ago. I didn't realise how bad things had gotten until the doctor told me I was morbidly obese. I had no idea. My blood pressure was sky high. It was kind of scary, to be honest. And I was put on medication for it, which was a little bit embarrassed about. I also got diagnosed with OCD roughly around the same time and prescribed meds for that too. But what really set me on my weight loss journey was that people my age were having massive heart attacks. I mean, that scared the absolute crap out of me, and that was my goal, to basically not have a heart attack. So in a sense, my weight loss journey was kind of easy because I wanted to not have a heart attack so bad I didn't even question giving up junk food and TV and bad habits like that just kept on coming back into me the whole time. So having a why is probably the most important aspect of starting or restarting any weight loss journey. And I mean, it's got to be something that really grounds you and that makes you want to be basically better. So let's be honest, a lot of us, myself included, we want to lose the weight quickly so we can just put it all back on again. It's very harsh, but it's true. Or we might want to do it for an upcoming wedding or a beach body or something silly like that. But your why has to be something bigger and more profound than that if you really want to set yourself up for success. It needs to be something that grounds you, something that you can come back to every time you feel like you've veered off track or thinking like, what's the point in all this? So yeah, maybe come up with your own why, write it down, keep it visible, let it be your guide, even maybe draw a little anchor or a check mark on a post-it, put them up in random spots in your house, just to keep the positive thought in your mind as you kind of go about your day. Now, once you've nailed down your why, all the other stuff like calories, exercise, healthy habits, that stuff is all simple. Not to be confused with easy. It's not easy in the slightest, but it's the why that will keep you going and keep you back on track whenever you veer off. So the next step, and it's a bit of an unconventional one, is to figure out your lifelong ambition. So this is your anchor. So if your why is kind of your goal, your anchor is basically your lifelong ambition or a project that you use to replace all those dopamine hits and to keep you back on track and keep you occupied. So this is a tough one, but it's really, really worth it. So take some time, grab pen and paper and dig deep. So ask yourself not just why you want to lose weight, but also basically like, what do you want out of life? What's your lifelong goal? You know, is the sugar and all that stuff replacing what your lifelong goal is? What's the thing that's always been in the back of your mind for years? Like your ideal dream job, your lifelong passion. Like even if it scares you a little, it's great to have like a lifelong goal and a project. So for me, it's this YouTube channel. So I've got a lot to say, a lot of advice to give and a lot to share, but put myself out here, recording this right now is terrifying. It's a big leap to me, and expose myself to criticism, interpretation. At the same time, honestly, it's something I need to do, to be honest. So this ties back into weight loss, because having a meaningful project that can keep you on track, your goals and your why are just your focus. But like having a project or a passion project really, really steers the ship and, like I said, anchors you. What worked for me back then was having a weekly radio show, along with the fact that I didn't want to die of a heart attack, but having a weekly radio show and a hobby and not trying anything too extreme with my diet and fitness, that really helped me. So I started small with some simple ab exercise at home. I cut out snacks one by one, and I basically kept track of my progress. That way you're building yourself up again, and in a lot of cases from ground zero. So when you're doing it from ground zero, it can kind of feel urgent, but don't approach this with haste. Just use the tried and tested, it's a marathon, not a sprint phrase. So you can just ease in slowly. And you'll find that this will actually improve your mental health just as much too. So it really helped with my OCD and my anxiety. It gave me a sense of control over my life. And I want to get back to that place. And not just for me, but for my wife, my kids, and for you guys too who are watching this channel. So how do we dig ourselves out from the rut we're currently in? So here's the plan I'm going to be starting with. So I'm aiming to lose 2 pounds a week. That's 14 pounds in 7 weeks. It's pretty manageable. And from there, I'll build and work on that. But it's pretty manageable, pretty sustainable, and it allows for a little bit of wiggle room too without being too restrictive. So I'll monitor my blood pressure as well, seeing as that's an issue with me. I'll do some weekly weigh-ins and measurements to kind of keep on track, but I'm not going to whip myself up or down a pound or two. You shouldn't either. Diet-wise, I'll start by journaling my food and taking pictures of my meals for the week, day in, day out for a week. It's a great way to actually start tracking your food, to be honest, instead of deep diving into MyFitnessPal. A lot of people can get kind of put off by that. It's a much gentler approach as well. So the app I use, not sponsored in any way, is FoodView. So you just simply take a picture of everything you eat, and at the end of the week you can take a look and see what you've been eating, if you're happy with that, what you want to change. It's also really, really handy to kind of have this data too, so you can just show the pictures to your nutritionist if you want to get a second opinion, or your doctor, your GP, whatever. Whatever other healthcare professionals you want to go to. So from there, you can kind of identify some small changes like replacing more snacks and adding in more veggies or whatever you want to do. So I'm going to be focusing on processed food as much as possible, but the main thing for me is cutting out the highly processed snack food like sweets, crisps, chips, dips, biscuits, cakes, stuff like that. The stuff you can eat regardless, even if you just had like a 50-course meal. Meals like pizzas and burgers, yeah, they're not great for you. But even if they're high in calories, at least to fill you up, you're not going to binge like 50 burgers or 50 pizzas. Well, most of you aren't anyway. Some people might give it a shot. But snacks, you can keep eating snacks without ever feeling full. They're dangerous, to be honest with you. And that's what I need to avoid. So I'll also be working on some hydration. I'll be trying to get enough water in for the day. I'm going to be trying to do 10,000 steps daily as it burns around 500 calories, roughly, thereabouts. That kind of gives me a bit of leeway with food if I need it. I'm going to reintroduce exercise slowly as well. So with my collarbone healing, I'm going to be focusing on walking and core exercises. Now, training my abs is actually a game changer before. About 5 years ago when I started doing this. It's a massive confidence booster. It's absolutely fantastic. It feels like you're walking around wearing Kevlar and it just makes you feel so confident. So one other fun goal I'm going to be doing is trying to learn the splits. So if I ever gloriously return to rugby, I'll be more flexible. Plus, improving my gait as I age is a smart enough move, I think. Now, it's very important to stay creative and mentally busy when you can try this journey, especially this time of year when you're kind of limited due to weather and brightness. So starting a new hobby or diving into a passion project or just keeping your hands and mind busy, it helps so much. Like, for example, watching TV and eating snacks and all that kind of stuff, it just goes hand in hand. So to try and look at that and do something different with it, because there's a connection there. So instead of just stopping that connection, just replace those snacks with some celery or carrots for a start, or something I've tried recently is just keep my hands busy, like doing a jigsaw or strumming a guitar while you're watching TV. It really, really helps. It just stops the mind wandering and therefore stops the cravings. Hobbies are a huge help too. They just help you stay grounded and bring balance to mental health and weight loss goals. So just focus on projects that make you happy. For inspiration, think back to when you were a kid. Another thing is just to be kind to yourself. So this isn't about perfection, guys. It's about progress. So there's going to be setbacks, and that's okay. Talk to yourself like you would to your kid or a friend, family member, and encourage yourself. And celebrate the small wins is very important. It's not about punishing yourself, it's about progress. So I'm going to start every morning with some mantras. Today is a new day. It's a great one, especially if you think you've done too much or went off tracks yesterday. It just, helps you. This too shall pass is another one if you're just not feeling great. It's a really good mantra to have too. And it's also helpful to set some daily intentions, like hitting your 10,000 steps or doing something a little different, like walking the same route every day. Just try a different route, go somewhere else, maybe go for a spin somewhere to a park and go for a walk there. So in the morning, just jot down your goals for the day, and in the evening do a mind dump where you just write down everything that pissed you off during the day. And it can be so freeing and just to help let things go. And like I said, make sure you celebrate small wins like resisting some snacks or doing something good or whatever you were tempted by. And if you slip up and have a bad day, it doesn't define the rest of your journey. So if you've let yourself go for whatever reason, I want you to know it's not the end. No, it's only the beginning. Remember, your body has gotten you through some of the toughest and lowest points in your life. I know mine has. Your body's gotten you through some breakups, heartache, grief, may have born children, gotten you your new job, pay rise, whatever. Don't beat yourself up for just putting on a bit of weight or for past efforts that didn't pan out. You're more than your weight, Let me know in the comments, what's the first small step you're going to try and do? Is it going to be taking pictures of your food, going for a walk, picking up an old hobby? Sharing really, really helps. Helps me, helps you stay accountable, and it helps inspire other people in this community. So guys, I know it's annoying, but if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. It would be absolutely awesome if you're enjoying this video. It means a lot to me and it helps me create more content like this and get maybe a bit of a community going. And don't forget to hit the bell button or the notification bell so you don't miss any of the updates I'll be sharing, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.